Welcome to the Claremont High School website. Welcome to starting to plan your freshman year at Claremont High School. Here is the homepage. If everybody could please click on where it says counseling. Oh, sorry, this won't move that way. The counseling and career tab. It has the icon of two people talking at a desk together. And it'll take you to the Claremont High School Counseling Department page. That's the landing page. The counseling staff is identified here. You will all be working with a counselor when you get to the high school. There are 3 counselors in this room right now, but we will be working with you. The counselors from Claremont High School will be back at El Roble on the 27th and 28th of March to meet with you, to go over your course requests, make sure we got everything in place for a good freshman year. And you will meet your counselor that will work with you on the 27th or 28th. We'll see all of you through your PE class. There are some other links here that we want you to be aware of. A lot of tools, a lot of resources. High school is a very fun, busy, complex campus. But one thing you need to be aware of is the counseling YouTube channel. We tape a lot of our events and activities on, we record them. So they are posted on the YouTube channel, and it might be a good tool for you to look at. How many of you have older brothers or sisters that have been at CHS? Okay, well, welcome. We welcome you. All right. So next, I want you to see at the very top, it says course selection for 25-26. If you would please click here to start, and that will take you to the next page we want you to be aware of. It should look exactly like this. The course selection for 25-26. Yes. You have to click where it says putting the pieces together, and it says click here.
Has everyone gotten there? Show of hands. Is there anyone who is not on this page? One right here. Are you getting there? Close to? All right. What about you? You need help? Are you there? Yeah, right here. I know it's hidden. That's why we wrote click there to hide it from you. I'm just kidding. All right, we're good. Everyone is there? All right, perfect.
All right, so you're here now. And so I just want to go over the steps. Step 1, we're in your classroom today at El Roble. We are talking about the course request form. We're going to go through the request form together. The request form is editable, and you can go through it over and over again for the next 14 days as you start to learn more about your options, learn more about life at CHS. You can go back to the form that we're doing today and amend it as many times as you need to. Talk to your family, talk to your friends, your siblings, your teachers. We understand that you have a lot of decisions to make, and you're going to have the time to do that. Step 2, we're having a webinar tonight. The webinar, you can find the webinar link if we scroll down this page. If we scroll down to a class of 2020-29. Thank you. So the webinar link for tonight is here on the website. You can also use the hyperlink listed here for the webinar tonight, March 6th, or you can use the QR code on your half sheet. The webinar tonight is about an hour. We're going to explain in greater detail some other aspects of high school life, why you need to choose the courses you are choosing. We will answer questions during the webinar if you or your parents have them, so we invite you to come and attend. And again, it's a webinar, it's online. It's not a physical meeting. It's a meeting over the web. All right. The next step is we will ask you to submit your finalized version of requests by the 20th. So again, you can edit the form. We're going to go through today up until 11:59 on March 20th. And then we will be back a week later to meet with you to review the requests you have, again, to ensure everything is on track. So you please select on that bottom of that page, go to the class of 2029, your grad year.
Just want to highlight a couple things before we go there, because these are some important events that's going to help you when you're going through this form again to make sure that you selected the right courses. There will be an elective fair here at El Roble, part of your school day. This is when all those elective classes are going to come up. You'll have a chance to go by the table, hear a little bit about them, and then help make a better decision because you can go back and you can change this. There's also the open house on the 13th at Claremont High School. A great time to go talk to the teachers and see the classrooms and see things that they're doing in those classrooms because, again, after that experience, you might want to change your elective courses, what you selected here, after seeing and talking to people who are in those classes. And again, just so that you remember, we're eager to come back here, but we won't be here on the 24th and 25th, 27th and 28th. I know you wrote it down on your form. We'll get this updated on there as well.
All right. So next, since you're on the class of 2029, your grad year, and as demonstrated here, we are going to go through some other components of this page, but first we want to go over the course selection form. So if you would please click course selection form, and we've been doing this for 5 hours, so we are going to show you what it looks like on your side. You should see this on your side. Can we make sure you all see that? Are we all good? Yes? Okay, great. So when you open this form, the email will populate your CUSD email address. So make sure that you see that. As this form opens up, we want you to be aware of some of the course selection resources, and you can refer to this anytime you're within the form, but we'll also show you today how to find these resources on the website too, because this form will close at a certain time. Summer school. Our summer school for you, the class of 2029, is not yet open. We will share tonight in the webinar the 3 classes that summer school students could take. Excuse me. And those classes would be PE, not to bypass freshman PE, but to open up space in sophomore year. We plan to offer a semester of integrated math 2, second part in summer school, and we plan to offer geography, a 10-day course in summer school, which can also fulfill the MYP social science requirement.
There were, and just a little bit about summer school, because there were some great questions that came up of how many courses can you take in summer school? You can take 1 each session. So you would not be able to take full year of PE in geography or a full year in PE in that math course if you're eligible for it. You can only take 2 courses, 1 each session.
And there'll be more information tonight in the webinar, and the summer school link and sign up will open March 27th when we come back to El Roble. If you have an IEP, know that your case carrier will work with your counselor to ensure that your courses are appropriate and as you need. So just be aware of that. The first thing you're going to answer on this form should be easy. It's your student ID number. So if you don't know your student ID number, it's the number that appears on Minga. So go ahead and please enter it. It's important that we have your student ID number that travels with you next year to the high school. It doesn't change. And it helps to identify, because you'll be surprised. We have a lot of students with the same first and last name, doubles, sometimes triples of students named John Edwards or, Mark Rogers or other combinations. Last name, please enter your last name where indicated here. Very important. Again, your forms will be shared with your future CHS counselor, and we divide up the alphabet based on the first letter of your last name. So please enter your last name where indicated, and then please provide your first name. We ask for a phone number. You can give us your phone number or a parent number, a number that will answer. We infrequently need this, especially in the summer when we're finalizing schedules and we've discovered a conflict that we need your input on. Like maybe there's a conflict with 2 classes that you asked for and we can't do both because they're both only offered at a certain time. We'll need your input. So please provide a number where we could eventually reach you, your number or parent guardian number, please. The next question is, what do you want to get ready for? You're going to see this question throughout high school. Our jobs as counselors is to identify where you want to go after graduation. Graduation is key, but we also want to know what you're getting ready for. Many of you already kind of have ideas about what you want to do. Tell us for today what your plans are, and we will base at least our conversations for ninth grade course planning on that. You can mark all 3 boxes, 1 box, your decision. And again, we know that you're growing and changing, so you're not locked into these selections the next few years. This is just a starting point for our conversations together. Next question you're asked is if you plan to participate in athletics at the high school. And this is for school-sponsored sports. If you're doing club sports, we want to know if you're going to do Claremont High School sports. We field 24 different teams, so we want to know if you want to be a part of that. And then drilling down more on the sports, we're asking you to identify the sports in each season that you're interested in. So if you're interested in fall sports, if you click that tab, you'll see that football and cross country and girls volleyball, all these different sports are offered in the fall.
What a question.
For the spring sports, I wanted to do the softball and track and field. Do I just pick one then?
At this point, yes. Okay. At some point, you'll have to make a decision, unfortunately.
So you can't do both?
No. So indicate if there's a fall, winter, or spring sport that you're interested in. This information is important as we are planning another component of your ninth grade year, which will come up in a minute. All right. Next is a longer question, and it's about participating in the MYP program in ninth grade. You have the option to do that in ninth grade year. If you choose the MYP option, and we understand Mrs. Gosnell was here on Tuesday and spoke to you about MYP, know that MYP would require you to take a world language in ninth grade and a social science or individuals and society class. And that can be fulfilled by either taking geography in the school year or geography in summer school or some other electives that we'll talk about in a few minutes. And then start time. Let us know your preference for when you want your school day to begin. If you are interested in starting school at 7:25, let us know. Your school day would then end at 2:30. That's 6 classes, 0 through 5th period. If you want school to begin at 8:30, which is a more common request, so mark that if you want an 8:30 start, and then your school day would end at 3:30. It is possible to have 7 classes next year if that is an idea you have. So you want to have, of course, your core classes and a world language and maybe your MYP social science elective or AVID and an elective. You would need 7 classes. There's a way to make that happen, and there is something in the form that we'll share with you. So that's coming up as well.
And be aware that the option for 7 classes does require you to start at 7:30 in the morning for a 0 period. So it has to be a 0 through 6. So you must select the 0 period option if you want to explore the option of a 7th class.
Yeah. All right. So all students will take English next year. And English is a requirement all 4 years of high school. So please mark that bubble for English next year. Next, everyone will take math. So first we want to know, we ask, what is your current math course? So please indicate the math course you're taking now, here, right now, at El Roble. And then this is a selection guide to help you choose your classes for next year. So if you're currently in Math 8 and the green arrow means passing, you're getting a C or better in Math 8, you're invited to select Math 1 for next year. If you're in Math 8 and you're struggling, that's the middle arrow, that's orange. That would be like a D in Math 8, or you anticipate a D in Math 8. we would encourage you to select Math 1A, which takes integrated Math 1 at a slower pace, and making sure that you really have those foundational principles taught at a pace that's going to really make them be meaningful and stay. And if you're earning an F right now in Math 8, then we recommend you choose Integrated Math Readiness, which will help build you up for Math 1 later on in high school. Questions so far? All right. We understand that this year you're not doing Math 8, Integrated Math 1. So if you're currently in Math 1 and you're doing well, C or better, please select Math 2. If you're currently in the Math 1-2 class this year and doing well, select Math 2-3. Also, if you're in Math 1-2 now and you're doing very well, A's, you enjoy math tremendously, you may wish to consider accelerating this summer in summer school. You would then take the Integrated Math 2 Semester 2 summer class, and you could advance to either Integrated Math 3, or if you do very well in the summer Math 2 Semester 2 class, you are eligible to take Enhanced Math 3 AP Pre-Calculus, which is 2 high school years of math squeezed into 1 school year. The pace is very fast, but it's designed for students who enjoy math and can progress at a very fast level.
In terms of completing this course request form, however, if you're planning any of those options to accelerate in math, you put the next level here. You'll add in the notes, and when you meet with your counselor, they will explain to you how they will adjust that. So for example, if you're in 1-2 and you're planning on taking the 2-2 in summer school, to go to the Integrated Math 3, please just select the 2-3, and then we will adjust it afterwards, and you'll make notes to your counselor that you're planning to do that over the summer.
And so, yes, you'll see below that screen that you can select the math class. So do the math course that it's closest or exact. For many of you, your exact class is listed here. Questions on math? All right. Next is science. All of you will be taking science at Claremont High. The graduation requirement is 2 years of science, 1 year of a life science, 1 year of a physical science. Next year, your science selection next year is dependent on your math. So if you just marked Integrated Math Readiness or Integrated Math 1A for math in 9th grade year, please choose physical science for your 9th grade science. If you chose Integrated Math 1 or higher for 9th grade, then please mark the biology class. Questions? All right. Physical education. We require that all 9th graders take PE. The graduation requirement is 20 credits of PE, 10 credits in 9th grade, and another 10 PE credits in 10th grade. Physical education in 9th grade can be satisfied by taking physical education, which rotates activities over the course of the school year, much like your PE is this year at El Roble. Or you can take dance PE in 9th grade. That's how you can satisfy it. The third way that you can meet the PE requirement enrollment for 9th grade is by being an athlete. So one of the reasons we asked all those questions at the beginning of the form, like fall, winter, spring sports, is to identify who our athletes will be. Our coaches will let us know, we'll let counselors know which students are student athletes and who would be eligible for the team sports PE, which is your way to earn your PE credit in 9th grade. We plan to have our team sports PE be the end of the day course, so that allows our athletes to have their conditioning and their away games without compromising academic instruction. Okay? Questions? I mentioned in summer school, it is possible to take 10 credits of PE in summer school. That would be booking yourself for 4 weeks of summer school to earn fitness PE credit in the summer before ninth grade. Doing summer school PE this summer would not eliminate the need to be in PE in ninth grade, either through team sports, freshman PE, or dance. What it would do is it would open up your sophomore year for that 10 credits you need to do by sophomore year. It opens up your sophomore year schedule by one class by doing PE this summer if you did the 10 credits of PE. So then we'll hit next. And this screen will show up for those of you who chose earlier in the form that you were doing MYP.
Just
So-
a show of hands, how many students selected MYP?
Many of you. All right. So if you selected yes to MYP next year, you will see that you do need to complete the MYP Social Science elective, or what they call Individuals and Societies. So option 1 to fulfill that is to take a summer school class in geography. And the summer school class in geography would be a 10-day course, or you could take geography in the school year. You could also fulfill your Individuals and Societies course by taking the school year geography, the school year course of psychology and sociology, or taking ethnic studies next year, or taking mental and behavioral health next year. The only summer school class this summer that fulfills the MYP social science is the geography class, 10 days length. But that would eliminate the need to take a year-long social science class, ninth grade year. Question?
On this, I was trying to think of someone, but also doing summer school.
You can do that.
It won't let me click both
Oh,
of them.
it's okay. Don't worry about that. Select the course you would want for next year, and we can bypass that when we meet. Question? That would be your decision, how you want to satisfy that requirement. So you can either take it in the school year or in the summer if you choose geography.
All right, are we ready to go on to the
Any
next?
questions? Oh, so one other thing here at the top. For all students, you do have the option for 7 classes, and we'll speak to that as we approach the end of the form. But some of you may want to do 7 classes if you're choosing MYP. For the social science elective, you need a slot in the day for that. You need the world language. And if you wanted an additional elective, like you're looking forward to band or theater or music, you would need a 7-period day. And again, reminder, 7-period day is 7:25 to 3:30. So it's a long day, guys. So be aware of that. All right. Now we're going to elective choices.
So this is the screen that everyone should be at, whether or not you chose MYP, correct? So it's everyone at this screen. If you're not at this screen, then we're either working ahead or we're working behind. Okay, you're still, so you're ahead.
Wait,
So-
am I?
Yes, because
Yes.
you're at the world languages.
All right.
They would skip over electives if they pick the 6th period.
Okay. All right. So primary elective choices, whether you see this screen or the modified screen, we want to know your first choice electives as being the primary, number 1. You're the one elective that you're looking so forward to.
Because
And
you're
then we
doing a
want
6-period day with
alternates
MYP,
that you could live with
So
if
you
you
don't
couldn't
get that
get your
elective
first
option.
choice
because
elective.
your elective option is the
Please
MYP.
do not have the same elective listed 3 times in a row. We know that Stage Tech in this example is your first choice. Please don't write Stage Tech, Stage Tech, Stage Tech. We want to be able to create a schedule you'll be happy with. So please provide us with alternates that you are content with, that we can put into your schedule.
I just want to back up really quick for any of the MYP students, because we had a question here. Because if you choose to do the MYP elective in a 6-period day, that is taking your elective option. So you're going to skip an elective choice. You're going to go straight to the world language because that's the 6th course. If you want to have that elective option, you have to choose the option of you're going to take that with 7 periods. Then you will have the option to choose an elective. So if you want that, you have to go back and pick the 7th period.
All right, questions so far? And as you can see, when you touch the caret, you can see the full range of electives. And we promise we're going to look over the electives list so you can see in greater detail the full range of your options. Yes, it is. Thank you. Question?
What do you think for the language? Like if you've done a year of language?
We're about there. Okay. All right. Question on elective?
You're going to be taking 2 electives because you're going to be bypassing the summer school and 0 period. What would you put?
You should be able to see that on your screen when you're doing it, and we can answer that at the very end. Okay. Question on electives?
When we put earlier for the PE or dance, I chose dance for that elective. There's also dance for that.
You possibly could. There's going to be a dance PE and a dance art class. The dance art class has a different code and it fulfills an art requirement, and art is part of the graduation requirement, but it's not the only one. For many of you who are thinking eventually of applying to UCs and Cal States, you do need to do 1 year of visual performing or music art class, and dance art would fulfill that, for example, as does stage tech, theater, choirs, band, and art, 2D, 3D art also fulfills that.
But a lot of that information is going to be covered tonight in more detail with that. So that's why it's important that you attend that webinar. So we're going to move on to the next choice after you've chosen your elective. So we want your first option, your second option, and your third option. And then we'll get to this page here that brings you to the world language.
So at Claremont High School, we are fortunate to offer French, German, and Spanish. And to begin a world language, if you have not started a world language yet, all you need to do is shoot for a C or better in your English class in June, and you can begin a world language at Claremont High School. So if you are starting a world language, you can choose between German, French, and Spanish. We also have a heritage Spanish class for students who already know how to speak Spanish. So it takes Spanish at a higher level, roughly year 2 level, because you already have the receptive and expressive skills in Spanish, and they move you on more quickly. If you are in Spanish here at El Roble, most of you are ready to go on to 2, but do have a conversation with your Spanish teacher. If you are in German here, Ms. Sai is also informing you about your readiness for German 1 or 2 at the high school. So do talk to your teachers, but most of you should know your pacing in your language. If you choose not to do a world language next year, or you don't have the grade prerequisite, or you just want to postpone it, you can do that. Just mark the box that says, I do not meet the prerequisite or do not wish to take a world language. If you choose that, it directs you back to another elective choice. Okay? This question here, alternate world language, this is a chance that if you selected above, you selected Spanish 1, but you could actually live with French. If you didn't get Spanish, then tell us that. But most of you probably have a number 1 world language you want to pursue, so indicate so here. The alternate is really not a mandatory answer. There's no red asterisk there. Just let us know if you want an alternate world language, if you really could live with you're not your first choice there. All right, so we're near the end of the form. Question?
I was just going to say for the slide before, so if I don't want to do a language, I could just switch it out for another elective.
Correct. It should direct you to another elective. Question?
I picked a language, which means I never got like the page for electives. Is that normal?
If you chose, we can go over that directly, but it has to do with your earlier choices about MYP and 6 classes, so we can go over that. Yeah. Yeah, we'll show you how to make edits in just a minute. All right, so this is the very end of the form. And if you could scroll up just a little bit, please. Thank you. Sorry, down. It reminds you that placement in your courses depends on fulfilling prerequisites in high school. You have to have a certain grade in some classes like world language and math and science to go on to the next. So just be aware of that. We will be checking the June grades that happen. to make sure that you're properly placed next year. We want to make sure everything is accurate. We do want you to talk with your family, but for the purpose of this activity, please go ahead and hit the red submit button.
But let's, because I don't think we hit on the additional
yes,
information.
thank
So
you.
this is important. Anything that I would say more than none. Anything you feel that it's important for your counselor to know, please list it in there. We will read through it. We know what's important, what to address with you. But if you're planning on taking any summer school course, if you're an AVID or any special program and you need a 7th period day, any of that information, put it in there. In order to finish this form, you actually have to put something in there. I just put none, just because I want to keep everything private for my counselor. No, I just put that in there to finish the form. But any information that is important for us to know as a counselor, please put it in there, because we can address that when we meet with you individually, because there's a lot of things that you can't put on this form. Some things that it's important for us to know to help adjust it when we meet with you.
Yeah. Another example would be like if you're trying to accelerate in that math this summer, if that was appropriate for you, you could say, you know, talk to me about summer school math and what to do. Okay. So now if you would please all hit submit. And if you could just show me a thumbs up that you've got your, this message, it says your response has been recorded. Okay.
One other
Everybody?
thing that's important on there that we encourage a lot of students to do, because we went back to that whole 0 period, 1st period start. If you have siblings at the school and you have to have the same start time, that's something that's important for us to know, so that we can ensure that you have a similar start time with your siblings, because we don't want one drop off at 7:30 parents to have to go to work and come drop off another kid at 8:30. So again, that's something important for us to know in that additional information. So things like that, make sure you put it in there.
Yes. So now you can see you've submitted it. You see this blue edit your response. You could go back in now, this moment, and edit your response. But chances are you're going to go away from this website, and maybe in the next day or two, you're going to want to talk it over with your family, your friends, your peers, and you need to make a change. No problem. We know that's going to happen. We anticipate that. You can make unlimited changes to the form up until March 20th at 11:59, and then the form will close. But we will accept changes up until then. How do you go there? You can either use the QR code that you have on your form, or just go back to what we did before, navigate to the class of 2029, hit the edit your response, and there it is. So let's say you have a conversation with your parents and they ask you about the start time as described a minute ago, and you need to change it or check it. What did I put? Let me see. So what did I put 8:30 start time. Mom and dad say, no, it's got to be 7:25 like your brother. So we can go back. You can go switch your start time. And maybe there's something else you decide to do freshman PE instead of dance, and you want to make that change. It'll make you go through the whole form again to double check, and you'll hit next until you're satisfied till the very end. Do you think your change is made just by hitting the red button one time? No. You have to go all the way to the form end and see the submit red button, and then when you submit it, that change will be made for the start time or the PE change, or whatever change you need to make. How many changes can you make between now and the 20th of March? As many as you need. Yes, it's there for you. So we hope you take advantage of the electives fair, open house, and again, conversations with your current teachers, your counselors here. They know a lot of things that can be helpful for you. Before our time ends together, we want to make sure you also know about some of the other resources. We did the course selection form twice. The course description book is a very dense document. It lists all the courses that we offer at Claremont High School. It tells you the course code, the course title, what grades it's taught in, and it gives you a description. It's about 84 pages long. But I know, I told you it was dense. But that is a resource for you. You can learn more. The CHS electives catalog, I think, is really helpful for all students to see. We've divided the elective courses by the different sources or the different departments. So fall debut classes known as ROP, are career and technical education classes that you can take next year and in other years at Claremont High School. They include popular classes like sports med, mental and behavioral health, stage tech, audio production, and it describes the course, the grade level, and any prerequisites. Career technical education classes help give you exposure to a work field and can maybe open up ideas about what you want to do after graduation. We can go back to that. So that was the first bar under the elective courses. If you're interested in more music, if we touch the music arts tab, it'll tell you some of the music classes, history of rock and roll, performance classes like jazz band. Jazz band, there is an audition or teacher recommendation, but it's open grades 9 through 12. As soon as auditions and interviews are needed, we will advertise that to all of you here at El Roble. Do not worry that you'll miss out on auditions or interviews. Questions?
So, I was gonna ask if you guys know, like, when the average, to get this average comes up.
Oh, when the decisions are made, I don't know when that will come out, but were you able to interview okay? Okay, great.
One
All
thing
right.
you can do is you can send an email to Miss Fowler here, and she can help answer that question. So she's over the AVID program. She's an AVID coordinator, and you can let her know that you interviewed for AVID. You just want to follow up to see if you can get any additional information on when those students are going to be notified of that.
All right. So, and this is the electives and interview tab at the very bottom of that earlier page, just giving you contact information for the program, either coordinators or teachers of the course that you're interested in that has a audition or an interview or a specific application. We've got 4 minutes left. No other questions?